Yo. All right. What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. Um, I've got to fix my hair and eat something, but other than that, what's up? This is usually a chill live. I'm not really sure if we're gonna have a whole lot of people on here because it's Easter. So happy Easter, by the way. If we don't have a whole bunch of questions, I'll just rip through, answer as many as I can, and then let you guys get back to Easter. So yeah, we got Noxious A Trap, Blake Wagner, and Marvin. But it sounds like Marvin and Blake are just telling me that they're gonna miss the live. Noxious, what's up, man? Welcome to the live. I'm pretty sure I've seen you in here a couple of times, right? All right, I'm gonna go make sure the mic is turned up loud enough so I don't have to yell and finish eating my fruit bar. Hold on. All right, there we go. I turned it up, so now you guys can definitely hear me. My Easter was okay. I didn't actually do anything this time. Now I'm loud, right, Sean? Or was I loud before? I didn't do anything. I worked all day on Easter. I came back, I ate a salad, got ready, and now here we are. So this one's it's always stressful for me when I have to like come from work and like hurry up and get ready for this. Whereas the Fridays, I'm like, I just wake up, I get ready, and then I have the live. So this one's kind of stressful, but it's all good. This one's, like I said, this one's always more of a chill one. Sean, how is life, man? Uh, I love Sean always gives me good feedback on the podcast, which makes me I have to be really accurate on it. Like the last one, he's all, don't forget, Fit and S&M are the same company. And I was like, ooh, you're right. So there's only a small amount of you guys on here. Some of you guys know that I'm diabetic. Some of you guys don't know, but like right now, you see me shake a little bit. My blood sugar is low, so that's why I'm stuffing my face with these strawberry ingrained cereal bars, and that's why I'm all sweaty. So sorry about that. Once I eat some granola bars in like 5 minutes, it'll be all good. But I don't think we're gonna have many questions on this live, so I'm gonna answer some on my YouTube comments and see if anyone else gets in here. Like I said, I know Easter is kind of a thing. For Sean, it was a drag. PWC47, what's up, man? Welcome to the channel. Glad you are here. Happy Easter. Sean, why was Easter a drag? Easter, man. Hope all is good. I always like, let's see, last Easter, I think I had a good dinner with my grandparents. And this Easter, we didn't do anything. I remember back the good Easters are when you're a kid and your parents hide eggs and stuff. That's what I did at work today. I hid eggs for kids, and that was it. And Easter back in the day, I'd be the finder of the eggs, and now I'm hiding eggs. So I'm like, damn, I feel old. All right, Noxious. This is a really good question, man. Let's see. So he says, I've been looking for the Sabrosa Salvador Park, but I'm having a hard time finding it. So is the Sabrosa Salvador 2021 similar to the park version? And it really isn't at all. The park version has the gyro and it just has steeper geometry on the frame, where the normal version is more mellow. Now, in terms of quality, the park version and the normal version are going to be pretty similar, but in terms of geometry, The park version is very responsive. The head tube's a little steeper, the standover is a lot shorter, and the normal version is obviously going to be more mellow. So, whoops. If you're getting it for the responsive park geometry, you could look at something like the Sunday Primer Park. There's one more low price. Oh, the Fit PRK, which is also similar steep geometry. So if you're looking for it just because of the geometry, you could look for those other two options. I know Sunday just got restocked on the secretbikeshop.com. They might have the Sunday Primer Park. And it, like I said, if you're looking for it for geometry, check out those other two options. If you're only looking for it for quality, the normal Sabrosa Salvador is going to be the same quality as the Park. I mean, very similar. So, yeah. Sean says the kids in the family are fucked up from being away from school for so long. Ooh. So I talk about this a lot to people for my work because where we're at in New Mexico, kids are just barely going back, and it's been over a year. Now, I know some schools, they went back right away, but some of the parents around their friends, and then they're still, will hopefully help that out. But I'm not sure. Everyone's so different. And the thing, especially for kids. So, like I said, I really hope that gets back on the hotspot right now. I just started it off from the hood. Is it any better? I'm going to go on my phone and watch it and see how it looks. I have to watch an ad to watch my own video. Did you guys have to watch an ad to watch this? That seems kind of weird on the live. What's up, Wyatt? How's it going, man? Wait, so I see Wyatt's comment on this, but I don't. Oh, there. Now I see Wyatt's comment. Oh, now I hear myself. It's like an inception. That's crazy. Yeah, it looks okay, but it does cut out pretty bad, huh? No, Noxious, that is the Kink Switch, the $500 one with the free coaster. That's the Kink Switch. Yeah, Sean, it probably cut out for a little bit and now it's back. So the hotspot thing, they throttle my connection whenever there's a lot of people on it. So sometimes it gets really bad, sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's in the middle. So hopefully in the middle. So hopefully it's better. Wyatt, what's up, man? Welcome to the live. I've seen you a good amount of times. This is kind of fun. I get just a few of my favorite people here on this live, so I'm very hyped. I'm gonna answer some questions from comments just so I have good content for people who end up rewatching this. But I don't think this one will go for an hour. It probably might not go super long at all. But the first question from Juan, he says, I have a question. I'm a new rider and I'm just starting. What would you recommend more, the Colt Gateway or the Sunday Blueprint? Juan, I think I'm going to have to go with Colt Gateway, even though they're both kind of similar in lower quality. They're both lower quality. They're pretty similar, but Colt overall, I just like Colt's completes a lot more than Sunday. I like Sunday's aftermarket parts a lot more than Colt, but we're talking completes here. So I'm going to say the Colt Gateway, but that's without knowing anything like your riding style, the quality you're looking for, your budget, your height, anything like that. But that is what I would go with. Dang, I do so good at replying to my comments on here that there's really not a whole lot. Romeo says, I want to get the Sabrosa Letum, but I'm not sure if I should ride it or ride a 20.75 because I'm 6'2". So Romeo, the common thing here, I'm just going to pull this up real quick. If you are 6'2", like you would be okay on a 20.75, but it's going to feel really easy to maneuver. So it's going to be really responsive and really snappy. A 21 is going to feel a little bit better. I was going to say more better, but you can't say more better. 21 is going to feel a little better because it's going to be it's just general for you. And then if you get a 21.25, it's going to be really flowy feeling. So like I said, the 20.75 is okay, but it's going to be really snappy and really responsive. And I'm not sure if that is what you are looking for or not. You see is 33 getting back into it. This is awesome because dude, if you keep hanging out in the lives, this one's really slow, like I said, because it's Easter. But there's a lot of guys in here who are over 30 getting back into the sport. And it's so cool to see. It's so cool to help everyone out. I'm not sure if you have a budget. If you have a really crazy, no budget, the Sunday Soundwave is a really good street bike to get back into it. I'm not sure on your height, but the Soundwave's probably one of the top of the line. It's a 20.75-inch top tube. But if you have more of a budget, the Kink Switch is my favorite street bike. It comes with a free coaster, 20.75-inch top tube also, and it's only $500. Those are the two best options probably. Yeah. Noxious, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is there pros that the Sabrosa Salvador has? Oh, is there pros? The only pro to the Salvador is the fact that you can choose the XL version, which is a 21-inch top tube, or you could choose the free coaster version, which has a free coaster, or you could choose or just the plain version. Those are the only real pros that it has over the park version. With the park version, you're just real limited to snappy, responsive, gyro, park specific BMX bike, where the other one you can choose some different options. But that's it. Like I said, they're pretty similar in terms of quality. Yo, Bizzle, what's up, man? Um, I like the bike build. You shouted it out. Did Colt see it? Did Animal see it? Did anyone react to it? I feel like they definitely should have if they haven't. Um, Although Instagram is hard to get noticed on. Yeah, so PWC, if your budget's 700 to 1K, and then Sean, I see your comment. I'll touch on my opinion. It's different, but so 700 to 1,000, and you were 6'1", 255. So I definitely recommend the something higher quality. Like I'm 210, 215, and I break full chromoly things. So if I was on something high tensile steel, I would extra break it, and it'd be the same for you. You 6'1", so 20.75 or 21 would be fine. I would say to check out the Soundwave is going to be way over budget. The We the People Envy is going to be way over budget. The We the People Crisis is a good choice in that price range. Although if you can't afford it, the Kink Williams is a solid choice. It's going to be a little bit better than the Crisis, but the free coaster sucks. I've had so many people reach out to me that the free coaster is blown out to them. And Cinema says they're aware of the problem, but there's nothing they can particularly do to fix it. So if you get the Williams, plan on getting a new wheel within the next couple months. Other than that, it's a solid bike. It's within your budget. It's a good height for you. Same with the Crisis. And those are probably the two best options. The Kink Switch is the quality wouldn't be that good just because you're over that 215, 220 pound range. Even for someone my weight would give it a beating. So I definitely say look into the Crisis or the Kink Williams. Okay. So Sean says we keep acting like 20-inch wheel bike is the only thing out there for tall people. And he has a very good point. And that's like, that's not the case, right? 22-inch is an option, and you could go up to the 26 or 29-inch. For me, the only reason I only talk about 20-inch is because that's the only thing I know anything about. I'd love to increase my knowledge on those bigger bikes so that I could give good recommendations and stuff on them, but I don't know anything about it, and I don't want to pretend like I do. So if you guys are interested in the bigger bikes, check it out, but you got to do that research on your own because like I said, I don't know anything about it. When I shoot out the recommendations, it's for people like, dude, I had some guy's 6'6", and he's like, which bike is good for me? I'm like, dude, are you seriously trying to get a 20-inch BMX bike? Because I just don't see how that would work for someone 6'6". Like that's incredibly tall. So I said, check out these 22-inch bikes. I don't know how they actually feel on a skate park or anything like that, because they're so big, but people are still shredding it from what I see. People are shredding those bigger bikes, and I don't know how, but hey, they're doing it. Bizzle says, I got an S&M Enduro 52 millimeter reach with Animal Empire state bars, and now you just need to change the frame. Bizzle's built up this whole custom cult animal machine, and it's very impressive, very impressive. Dos Ex Machina says, do you have any recommendations on a good BMX bike for intermediate level riders that's comfortable for a person who's over 6 foot tall? It's let's see. 6 foot tall. It's funny, we were just talking about that. 6 foot tall is considered pretty tall, 21-inch or 20.75-inch still. Intermediate, to me, I'm gonna say that's mid-level. And I'm going to say, dude, the Colt Devotion is probably the best bet for you because you can get it in that 21-inch top tube, full chromoly, comes with pegs, double wall rims. It's a good mid-level bike for sure. And then it has that 21-inch top tube and a 13.6-inch chainstay. I think that's what Bizzle went with initially, and then he upgraded it. So that's going to feel really big. It's good for street riding. It's going to fit you good because you're taller. The Sunday X, you can get a free coaster version if you're into that. And then you can choose between 20.75 or 21-inch. Also, I think they do come with pegs. No, I don't think they do. I don't think the Sunday X does. But those would be two solid bikes for you to look into. Pedro says, I started riding bowls and I'm able to drop in, but having trouble airing out to flat. Any advice? Also, what's the worst thing that can happen? Oh no, where's my finger bike? I was literally just playing with it. Damn, that's crazy. Okay. What's up, Kylo? Airing is hard. It's something we covered in bike school. We did a in-depth how-to on it, and it depends on your quarters. So that's the first thing we talked about is, say you have a 4-foot quarter, it's going to be pretty mellow, and you're going to need to be able to pop off of it a lot more than you would on, say, a steeper 6-foot quarter. So you really have to gauge it out and figure out how different quarters feel. So then there's also different transitions on those same height quarters. So your 4-foot quarter could be incredibly steep, and you would have to treat that differently than a mellow 4-foot quarter. And so overall, it's very confusing. Hold on. Ozzy says it's there behind the box. If you're talking about this one, I don't play with that one. That one's just for looks. I mean, I could use it, but oh well. It's probably over here. Yeah, I see it over there. It's okay. I don't need it for airs, but I might need it eventually. So that's the first thing for you. DOS. I hope I'm saying that right. Is feel out your quarters. I don't know what you have, but go up at it, go until your front tire hits the coping, and then pop off of it and land back in, and just get a feel for that. We always recommend you roll at it and 180. If you have a good half pipe or two quarters next to each other, and just keep 180ing them and then work up your speed so that you go higher up on it and then you can get more air. Once you get comfortable and feel out your quarter and you can kind of pop in 180 on it, you actually start into airing, speed is key. You're going to have to go a lot faster at it. And what happens is when you're riding up, how can I even show that? When you're riding up that quarter, your tires are stuck to it. And when you're popping off, you're imagining that that quarter still goes, right? You're imagining it's essentially a vert wall. And so you pop up, you're in the air, pretending like you're riding on a vert wall, and then you're popping back in. The perfect one is where your tires leave off the coping and enter back in on the coping. You don't want to pop off and land flat, but that would be the way that you want to learn. So perfect one is you're popping off and landing in perfect. When you're learning, you're popping off a little safer because it's better to land lower than casing. And the worst thing that could happen is probably like nose casing or casing and flipping over the bars. So that's why I say pull back a little bit so that you land more into it, because that's going to be the better option than casing. Obviously, airs are kind of hard, man. You're going to have to, they're easy to a point, but then moving on past that point, they get a lot harder when you start to try and really boost them. So I hope that helps a little bit. But oh wait, that question was for Pedro, not for DOS. But yeah, there you go, man. Hope that helps a little bit. If you want, send me on Instagram. Send me a video of you trying it to Dougsterbob on Instagram, and I can give you some advice that way. Noxious says, do fully sealed bearings matter much? Is it really that big of a deal if a bike doesn't have them? It depends on where the sealed bearings are. So unsealed bearings on a front wheel are going to be, they're still going to last essentially forever. I mean, probably over a year, right? Whereas sealed bearings really last forever on a front wheel. In a bottom bracket, I'd say I wouldn't mess with anything unsealed in the bottom bracket, just because that is it's going to be affected a lot more. The front wheel, for whatever reason, unsealed can go forever. The back wheel, I'd say definitely get sealed back wheel, definitely get sealed bottom bracket, definitely get sealed headset. But the front wheel, which is on a lot of bikes, they push it, right? Everything will be sealed except the front wheel on a lot of complete bikes. And to be honest, that's fine. Ideally, you want everything sealed, but if that's the exception, that's going to be fine for a good amount of time, especially because front wheels are very cheap to replace. I was going to say inexpensive, and then I just stuttered. Anyway, they're very cheap to replace. So if you do get an unsealed front wheel, you can replace it pretty cheaply. So in terms of that, it doesn't really matter. But when you talk about sealed bottom bracket, sealed back wheel, like the cassette and stuff like that, get sealed for sure. Stealth Saber says, is a 3/8 drive socket wrench going to work on a bike? And I don't know what you mean. Like if you mean to take off your back wheel, then I'm not sure. Honestly, I think 3/8 is the smaller one, isn't it? If you're talking about to take off your back wheel, most back wheels are 17 millimeter, and go with the correct size. Like don't use, I don't know what the equivalent to a 17 millimeter is, but to metric to inches. Um, 6/10 would be three fifths. Is that right? 3/5 is like the 17 millimeter equivalent, or is that oh wait, here we go. Yeah. Anyway, you don't want to use the metric or imperial side. I don't know which way it is, but either way, because it strips it out. So like your Allen keys are 6 millimeter. Use the 6 millimeter. Don't use the one that fits in there, like 1/4 inch or whatever, because it's going to strip out. And it's the same with your back wheel. Like if it's supposed to be 17, just use 17 instead of 3/8 or whatever it may be. I think 3/8 is the 10 millimeter equivalent, which is usually on the smaller front wheels. And again, just use actually The front wheels are supposed to be 3/8 and not 10 millimeter. So in that case, use the 3/8 and not the 10 millimeter, but just always use the right size. That's the only way I could put it. Always use the right size. And I have no idea what size yours is or what. So it's hard to help. I hope that helps a little bit. That kind of bounced around. But just use the right size. Moral of the story, okay? Ozzy says, "Hey Doug, I'm kind of scared to do 180s or 360s out of a bowl because I always get stuck on the coping. What advice can you give?" So if you get stuck on the coping, like with the spin, like your tires are clipping, the best thing for you is to wait. So don't carve too early. That's a big thing that people do is they carve too early and it sends them spinning before they actually pop out of the quarter. Go off of it essentially straight. And if you do carve, only carve a little bit right at the end, but essentially go off of it straight. And once your front tire comes off, that's when you're going to want to start the spin. If you start it before, like I said, you're spinning too early. So wait until that front tire actually, you watch it pop off the coping and then pop with your body, spin, turn your shoulders, look behind you, everything like that. The other thing to do is when you pop off, get this a little bit of spin going and then suck up your knees. When you suck up your knees, you are picking your back wheel up so it can't hit the coping and you're giving yourself more time to finish out that rotation. Kylo is finally here. I think he missed last Friday, but he is here on Sunday for Easter. And now I'm at the point where everyone is telling me where my computer is or where my finger bike is from Jeff. So Jeff got me those finger bikes. It's funny. Jeff just emailed me and sent me a picture of the half pipe he's been working on with his kiddos. So they have something to ride over there. And it's really cool. I've always wanted to build a ramp. So I'm kind of envious, but it looks super good. Jacob says, "Do you have any tips on high airs and clearing gaps while doing 360s?" If you're talking about high airs on a quarter, which I'm sure you are, speed is going to be key. But the other thing, man, like I was talking about with the tips for airing, is that your quarter really, really has a huge effect. So at Woodward, there's a 9 foot quarter before the box, and you have to air that quarter before you can hit the box jump the right way. And you have to air that thing just incredibly high to have enough speed to clear the box jump because it's a huge box jump and that quarter is steep. And what happens with steep quarters is you actually push into the coping. So instead of pulling off of a quarter like that, you're going up, you're riding up, and you're throwing your body weight into the quarter. You're throwing your body weight through it so that you can push into it. I don't know why, but that's how you have to do it. And by doing it that way, you're able to get a lot more height. Whereas if you'd pull off of that quarter, you'd go flat because of how steep it is. Now, this other quarter I have in El Paso, it's got a pool coping quarter, but it's really mellow. So you go as fast as you want at that, and you have to pull back off of it because if you don't pull back, you're going to go that way and case it really bad. So you have to figure out the different quarters and then use as much speed as you can, but adapt to the quarter. So no matter what, you're giving it more speed. But depending on the type of quarter, you're either pulling back more with that speed or you're pushing through it so that you don't land flat. It takes a lot of trial and error and a lot of feeling it out, man. Robert says, "What do you think of the kids? I think of BMX and racing, and the kids are racing BMX racing." Sounds like a Dr. Seuss rhyme. I think I don't know. At first, I really drew the line between BMX and BMX racing. I said, freestyle's freestyle, racing is competitive, racing's cutthroat, racing's um, more of like a traditional sport, whereas freestyle's kind of the black sheep. And you go out, you ride your bike, you have fun, blah, 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 blah. But then you get more into competition and you get more into looking at what would actually fuel the growth of the sport. And having that competitive aspect to it really does. Like everyone, when they hear BMX, they think of racing. And that's because of how widespread it is and promoted and everything like that. Whereas freestyle is just it's not a sport, quote unquote. I mean, it is now, especially because it's in the Olympics, but it wasn't at first. So I think racing has done a lot for bringing recognition to BMX. I've never really done it. I've rode on the track by the skate park, the racetrack, and I've crashed way more than I do at the skate park. So I kind of gave up that dream. And I was doing it on my freestyle bike, but still. Yeah, I think they've done a lot for the sport. And I think ABA is starting to do freestyle competitions. So they run a huge thing for racing. So they're kind of starting to merge that, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm all for it because if this was in a podcast, if they bring that competitive aspect to BMX, which they already have, they're giving a lot of kids the option to see BMX and be exposed to it. So ultimately, it's going to grow the sport. And then if you get into racing, my best friend started out racing and now he rides freestyle. So there's always that option to get into it racing and then try out freestyle. So I don't think it's doing anything bad for the sport. If anything, it's definitely helping it. PWC says, "Can I use that for street and park? I appreciate your help a lot. You're welcome, man." Dude, nobody realizes how much goes into it. There's so many different options. And like, once I started learning about geometry, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I have my friend in El Paso. He's telling me he was buying a frame, and he's like, "Oh, I got 75.2 head tube, so it's a little more responsive, and I got the seat tube angle." And I'm like, "Bro, who even looks at that? Like, you just buy a frame because you like the color and the brand, and then you carry on, right?" And now I'm actually looking into it. I'm like, this is crazy because I felt it. Like when I switched from a responsive frame to a more mellow frame, different tricks were way easier. Some were harder. My style changed. So it's cool that you're able to learn about it before you buy the bike and then like regret it. I get people who regret it all the time too. And I'm like, dang, that sucks. Um, the bikes I said for you are definitely more street orientated. If you want something more general, the Crisis would be pretty solid still. I think the Crisis has more of a well-rounded uh, makeup than the Kink Williams. The Williams is definitely more streety, especially because of the pegs and the free coaster. Um, Check out the Kink Cloud. It's a step down in quality, but the geometry is less mellow than the Williams. It's a little more responsive, so that might give you more of the balance between park and street. The Kink Cloud, but the color is awful. I hate the color, so yikes. Pierce says that he can't stay. He's just stopping in to say hi. Pierce, it's okay. What's up, man? Welcome to the live for 5 seconds. Kylo always ends up getting the moderator. Actually, I didn't do that at the beginning. So, Noxious, you were early here. And Blake was here, but Blake left. Sean, we got Sean the wrench. Sean doesn't really care about the wrench, but we got to give Sean the wrench. And PWC. All right, guys. There's some wrenches for a little bit of the live. Eugene, I see Eugene from the UK. What's up, man? Welcome to the live. Where are you at in the UK? Like Wales? I like Wales. I stayed in Wales a lot. Oh man, what is going on? Why is there so many different questions on this live? I didn't think there'd be that many questions, and then here we are. Yo, I just see Mason and Hayden. I've got it going on my phone so I can make sure the quality is half decent. And what's up, guys? You guys are at the bottom of the comments, but we will get there eventually. Let's see. So Stealth Rider, I know it has to be easy, but I don't understand socket wrenches. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you need a wrench, right? Or a ratchet. If you have pegs, you need an extension, and then you need your socket on there. Yeah, you can, 3/8 drive. And that was in the thing. Yeah, 3/8 drive is fine. Even half inch is fine. Whatever you've got, as long as it's a 17 millimeter going into the wheel, like the drive is, you doesn't matter. It's fine. The only thing you'll run into an issue with maybe is if it's a thicker socket. I know some of the bigger drives, half inch is a bigger one. The socket gets really thick, and then you might not be able to get it in your pegs, especially if your peg is worn down. Okay, sorry. Well, dude, I'm running, like I said at the beginning, my sugar was low. I'm good now, but I'm sure you guys could definitely tell to like how like how I was at the beginning versus how I am now. That's crazy. So anyway, we got it. We got it now. What's up, Ozzy Ruzi? I think I answered one of your questions earlier, right? Dude, it's good to have you back in the live. I don't think I've seen you in the last couple. So this is cool. I was surprised. We got 20 people here, 13 likes, and 36 minutes on Easter Sunday. You guys are legends for hanging out with me instead of your family and hanging out with the Easter Bunny, all that stuff. All right. Somebody asked a good question. Oh, Epic says full face helmet or skateboard helmet for BMX. I'm going to tell a story just because I like to tell stories on the Sunday lives. I would always I used to ride a 888 skateboard helmet, half cut, uncertified. Okay. And I was riding along, riding, and I hit a spine here in Cruces. It's not really a spine. The park is built so bad. I thrashed so many frames, but I hit the spine and I cased it. And when I cased it, my frame blew up in half. Whoop, that was probably really loud for you guys. Sorry. It blew up and I went face first into the concrete. My back end of my bike went that way. My handlebars, my head tube, and my wheel and forks went that way. And I just went straight to my face. I broke this tooth, and then I got 6 stitches in my chin. And that was half cut, okay, uncertified. I don't think I got knocked out, but that happened. I got up, I picked up some of my teeth, I picked up my bike, or like, the chunks of my teeth, and I carried my bike out. My grandma was chilling at the skate park, and we went to the hospital. I got the stitches, and ever since that day, I got a full face. My parents bought me a full face, and that's what I rode with from that time on until about a year or two later. It got stolen out of my car. I don't know why they didn't steal my bike, but they stole my helmet. So okay. And then I didn't wear a helmet for a while, and then I wear a half cut now. So I see a lot of kids 16, 17, 18 who are full of puberty sending it, right? And that's like, you should just have a full face, elbow pads. You should have it all, because you're going to just send it and you're going to get hurt. And I do like, dude, face stuff, smashing your face is not fun. Teeth are expensive. Teeth hurt. So I think the full face is great if you think you're on that path to where you're sending things. You might go face first. If that's you, get the full face. Otherwise, the half cut's fine, because if you're doing street stuff, you're going to loop out a lot and hit the back of your head. So having that half cut is definitely better than nothing. Right now, I ride a half cut. Okay. Sean says a full face will save your face if you land on your face. Amen. Like, Sean just took my whole long explanation and made it in 5 words. So there you go. Epic, are you saying your homies get mad at you for riding in a full face or for manualing out of everything? Dude, if you're yeah, dude, you got to go with what is better to you. You know what I mean? You can't let them decide for you. Guys, I'm sure I've told this story before. I was in El Paso riding with the homies, and I was over here. I was way over here at the bowl. Somebody came up and said, "Yo, Frankie's down." And we're like, what do you mean he's down? And he looped out, he hit his head. And so from that time that he hit his head to the time the homie came to say that Frankie was down, he's been having a seizure. And so then by the time I got all the way over there, he's still having a seizure. He's throwing up, like just it was the craziest thing to watch. I'm like, whoa, this is insane. So he wasn't wearing a helmet, and he barely really hit his head, and had a seizure for a few minutes. Then he woke up and he was really out of it. The ambulance finally got there. They took him, checked on him. He just had a concussion, stuff like that. Like, he was okay, but watching, like, being right here when someone's having a seizure, you're like, whoa, I'm glad I wear a helmet. So I hope you guys all like genuinely think of that. And again, it's all about your comfort zone. I know there's tricks that there's a 1% chance I might crash and hit my head, but to me that likelihood is like I still won't put my helmet on because I have to go back to my car. I have to da 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 da. So if I'm starting the session out and I'm just chilling, like I don't wear a helmet because I know I'm not going to hit my head. 99.9% sure. I do recommend, don't sue me if you hit your head. I recommend a helmet for everyone, all that good stuff. But you've got to be smart about it. If you don't feel like you're going to hit your head, then I guess don't wear a helmet. But yeah, like Sean says, comfort versus potential disaster has been an issue since the mid 70s. Super fun time. Stealth Saber says, "What is the most likely thing to first break?" I'm trying to think of what it was for me. I think for me, I bent my bars pretty quickly. They were high tensile steel on my first bike. And just from landing over time, where you hold on to, they bend down, especially on one side. I don't know why, but that was it for me. The bars bent down. The other thing is the back wheel. I thought I could tail whip before I could even like really bunny hop. So I'd jump out of this dirt jump we had. I'd throw a tail whip and the back wheel would just slam into the ground over and over and over and over. And I wasn't getting close, but I'd just keep slamming that wheel. And then I'd probably get mad and throw my bike. And the back wheel took a big beating. I thought they could just fix it with the spokes, but when you actually bend the hoop of the rim, that thing's done. There's nothing you can do with it. You can always fix spokes, but when you actually bend the rim, it happens a lot easier to single wall, and double walls don't necessarily bend as easily. It's game over. You need a new wheel. So I'd say if you're trying those tricks, the wheel's definitely the first. Uh, Pedals break sometimes if they're cheap pedals, and then the bars would be number 2 or 3. Noxious says, "Can we all agree that the We the People Doomslayer frame looks so good?" I will second that. All of We the People's frames this year look incredible, and I'm torn between getting a We the People frame or a Sunday frame. I don't know which one to do, but it's tough. Maybe I'll just flip a coin when it comes down to it. All right, Kylo had to go. Peace out, Kylo. It is 8 o'clock already, so that means we're here about 43 minutes. I was 2 minutes late. I'm so sorry. Carbop, what's up, Carbop? I remember you from last Sunday, I think. Yeah. So Robert says, "Do you know that the BMX people that do the races is running in freestyle for the Olympics?" See, so that's where I thought ABA, which is doing the races, American Bicycle Association, recently started doing some freestyle ABA contests. You pay a monthly membership. I talked about it on the podcast. But I'd always thought Olympics was run through UCI, which I didn't think had any correlation to ABA. Maybe they do. If they do, someone educate me because I didn't think there was any correlation. I thought UCI was doing its own thing, and you accumulate points through UCI to get into the Olympics. And maybe ABA is doing something similar, or they're becoming a branch of it. I'm not sure how that works, but yeah, I definitely did not think that UCI and ABA were connected. I see Lucas on the phone popping up. What's up, Lucas? How was dinner, man? What'd you have? Did you have lamb? Most people eat lamb. Sean says racing is for genetic freaks because the same group of people win everything. Huh. Racing is really crazy. We've talked about racing enough, though. All right. Jacob says, "How do you 360 over gaps and box jumps?" And they're both going to be two different things, Jacob. When you 360 over a box jump, the box jump is throwing you up and throwing you in the direction that you want to go. When you're 360ing a gap, you are the box jump. Essentially, you're throwing yourself in the direction you want to go, and that is a lot harder. So with the box jump, you just need more speed, and then you need to understand how to speed up your spin or slow down your spin. So when you pop off the jump to do a 360, you can compress your body, right? And that makes you smaller so that you spin faster. When you need to slow down, you can expand your arms and expand your legs, and that acts like a parachute. So you slow the rotation down. So with a box jump, go fast, pop off of it, and then you need to know how to control your speed in the air. If you feel like you're gonna get the 360 before you land, then you're good. Don't do anything. If you need more rotation, suck up your body a little bit more, twist a little bit more. That's for the box jumps. Box jumps are definitely scary to 360, but it's cool because you can work your way into it. You can 360 in case, you can 360 in case, get a little more speed, 360 case, 360 case. And I think I just saw, yo, what's up, Anthony? Harvester is here checking out the live. We're going to have Anthony on a podcast soon. And yeah. But so that's the box jump. You can start slower and work your speed up so that you can actually clear it. Now, the actual a gap, I hope you mean a gap like a hop 360 and not necessarily a gap dirt jump or something like that. But for the gap, it's kind of the same thing, right? Where you need to know how fast you need to spin, but the timing there is so much more crucial because there's not as much time. With a gap, again, speed is going to be key. Make sure you have enough speed to clear the gap and then go a little bit faster, because when you spin, you don't ever get as far as you initially would if you just hopped. So go a little faster than you plan, and go even more fast than that, because you need to make sure you clear it if it's a gap. You don't want to case the gap. And make sure you can suck up your body and speed that spin up a little bit. And then, yeah. Devon. What's up, Devon? Happy Sunday. Happy Easter, man. I saw you shredding your guitar. It's cool. I can see the chats pop up on here before I actually get to it. So I'm like, guys, this live is really popping right now. This is crazy for Sunday. I was like, after 10 minutes, I was like, all right, I'm about to give up and just go eat some Cheerios or something. But we got a good amount of people here and lots of questions. So Eugene. Okay, Eugene, I saw you pop up from the UK, but then I did not get to your question until now. So hopefully you're still here. Eugene says, what's up from the UK? My son is 11 years old and 4'10", growing fast. Would you suggest what would you suggest the best size to be? So Eugene, I don't know how fast kids grow. This is really hard for me, but for kids, it's best from the parent side. It's best to get them a bike that's a little bit bigger than them so they can grow into it. Okay. That is your best bet. So you don't have to buy more than one bike. For the kids, that is the worst option, because when they're on a bigger bike, they don't have as much bike control. So I see a lot of kids that I know from, like, say, Woodward or whatever. They're on an 18-inch, even though they should be on a 20-inch. And this is because they've got an 18-inch and a 20-inch, but when they get on the 20-inch, their tricks are not the same. Their riding is not the same. They get discouraged. They hate it. They go back to the 18-inch. So you have to decide how important it is for you for their progression based on like the saving money aspect. Okay. So once you decide that, then I would say a 20.5 would probably be the bigger size where you wouldn't end up buying multiple bikes. But at that size, if you want to get him something that is perfect for that size that he's going to have a lot of control over, get a 20.00 or a 20.25. The Fit Park XS is one of the only bikes I recommend in those sizes, because I really don't like Fit's 2021 line. It's very disappointing, but in that size, those riders don't weigh enough to actually break the parts. And it's a really compact, responsive bike. So if you want to do that, get him something that he can control and pick up really quickly on. That's a good bet, but he is going to outgrow it. And so if you don't want him to outgrow it, get something like a 20.5. The Kink Gap is a pretty cheap option, or the Kink Whip is solid. Yeah, those would be the two that I'd say. So hopefully that answers it. You've got to decide that on your own, but those are two options you can look at. What's up, Mason? Welcome back. It's good to see you in here, man. Crowcheck says on the road to 5K. Last time I checked, there was only 1K not too long ago. Dude, it's funny you bring that up because there's a lot of you guys who have been here since before 1K. And I appreciate you all so much. I always tell Blake, Blake says, Blake's like, we hit 4,300, we hit 4,000. And I'm like, that's it. This isn't possible without you guys. And we're doing this as a community. So, Crochow, you've been here since 1,000. You're just as responsible for the 4K than as I am. And we're definitely, my goal, like I keep telling you guys, is 10K by September. I've got a really strict schedule with 2 lives a week, 2 videos a week. Well, 1 video, but 1 video, 1 podcast. I want to add in another video so we have stuff, throughout the whole week. And it's caused me to be borderline psycho with my scheduling and everything, but we're going to make it 10K by September. It's on the whiteboard. We're going to do it. And 5K is coming at the end of the month for sure. So that's really exciting. I'm glad you're a part of it, man. Really glad. Oh, Eugene is from London. What's up? That is sick. I didn't really like London. Guys, since it's Sunday, I'm going to tell more stories. I had a really bad time in London. I flew there. I slept a little bit on the plane. My ratchet to put my bike together got confiscated when I was leaving in LA. They took it. They said it was too big. It's a weapon. So they took it. I should have put it in my bike bag. They took it away from me. I finally got to London. I had a backpack, a suitcase, a bike bag, and a computer bag. So I had 4 bags, and I got to Heathrow. I had no idea where anything was. Um, I just sat in the airport for a while trying to figure out where I was going. I found where I was going. I had to walk out of the subway. I almost got like arrested for lying on the subway thing about having a rail card because I thought I did. I was between 18 and 25 or whatever. I should have got the discount. And I finally got to the place. Some sketchy guy was like, "Hey man, let me help you with your bags." And I'm like, "Dude, no, get away from me." What? Like, I'm good. I can carry all this up these stairs. And oh my God. So then I hand tightened my bolts on my bike to just go cruise around London. And I actually had a lot of fun after that. But the first part was a big pain. Big pain. I'd do it again though. Devon is here. I already said what's up to Devon. Bizzle says, what frame would you think would be easiest to progress on? I'm 5'9". The stock devotion seems like the chainstay is too long. Yeah, dude, the devotion is honestly, that long chainstay is too long for a lot of people. That's why 2020, I recommended it a lot. In 2021, I started recommending it only for those taller guys who were getting back into the sport, needed something a little bigger. For you, I really don't know. Like, I did a review on all of the dang, one of my cryptos is up 16%. That's exciting. Um I don't do a whole lot of reviews frame wise. I think you would enjoy the night shift frame, the Sunday night shift, because it's a very general, right? I don't think the chain stays that long. Actually, let me double check. Maybe the Fiend team frame. I know you're trying to keep it Colt two. No, don't get the too short frame. That's way too responsive for you. Hold on. Let me look at the night shift frame specs just because that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, so the chainstay is 13 to 13.25, and 13 is going to be slammed. 13.25 is all the way out. So it's right there around 13 inches. And that's going to be a big change for you from the 13.6 on the devotion. And then you got the top tube lengths. You could get a 20.75 would probably be best for you. But if you want something more mellow, go with the 21. I think the 20.75 night shift would be a solid choice for you. Yeah, that's my choice. Sunday didn't pay me to say that, but they should. Eugene, no worries, man. I love making the content, and when people like you say that it actually helped them, I was just on the phone with a really good friend of mine. I talked to her a lot when I was starting this like 2 years ago, and she's an athletic trainer. I'd sit in the athletic training room and just work on it. And I was telling her about this. I was like, it blows my mind, like how many people actually find value in this and how many people it helps. Because to a lot of us, it's like second nature, right? We know what different specs mean, blah, blah, blah. But when I think back to getting into the sport, this is something that I never ever would look at and think about. And it's able to help you guys a lot. So Eugene, I'm glad you enjoy the content, man. And I'm really glad you're a part of the community. Uh, you fit in right here on this live. And like I said, I'm really glad you're here. So thank you, man. Devon says face damage is very expensive, but he has the protective afro. So he doesn't need to wear a helmet and it protects him from crashes and falls and everything like that. Shouts outs to Devon. Hayden, manuals are the biggest mind. So Hayden says, I always either loop out or go too far back, throw my hips forward, instantly come back down. Any tips? Hayden, I've been battling a lot with nose manuals. So like, it's the same thing for me. So nose manuals, where I'm at with nose manuals is where you're at with manuals. And it's just becoming aware of like our weight shift and what it actually does. It sounds like you understand the concept, which is the hardest thing to teach people is that, hold on. All right, we got the Jeff finger bike here. So the weight shift is a hard thing for people to understand, but essentially, how's that? Whatever, you guys get it. When you're manualing, okay, the weight shift, like I said, when you bring your weight back, you are putting weight down here and it's pulling you back, okay? And when you shift your weight forward, you're dropping the front end. So ideally, you are staying right here, perfectly center. Now, it doesn't work that way. So you have to casually move back and move forward the way you need, depending on where you need your front wheel to be. Now, some people are way back here and they're able to keep their front wheel really low to the ground because that weight's so far back. Now they're still shifting their weight to lift it up and down, but they're farther back. So one thing for you, Hayden, you might be a smaller guy, and the smaller guys have to really, really get their weight back behind the bike to get it up enough. You have to just get the weight way back, and then you have to be able to control it. And it's really hard to control if your bike is bigger than you. If your bike's smaller than you, it's going to be really sensitive, but it's easier to kind of control and maneuver. Whereas the big bike takes a lot of initial force to get it up. So you just still need to understand or get more body awareness of where your body is, because it's so easy to move from here to here, and that's going to be too much. You know what I mean? When you might just need to move from here to here, but your body is so twitchy that it moves way too far. Just keep practicing, man. I always tell people to go to a parking lot and go from parking spot to parking spot and just see how many spots you can get. Like, set a goal. So yesterday we were doing nose manuals and our goal was 3 parking spots. I got it one time out of literally 50 attempts. Like 50 attempts, I got it one time. So do the same thing with the manuals and just keep practicing, man. Pedro says, I bought some Momentum 2.2 wide tires. They make a huge difference for riding bowls. Do you think it makes a difference how wide tires are? Do you worry about bike weight? I subscribed today. Thank you, Pedro, for the subscription. You are now a part of the community, getting us to 5K and 10K. But yeah, so same thing for me, man. I used to ride 2.2 Momentums, and then I put a 2.3 in the front. And I was like, wow, this is weird. Like the bowls felt so much better in a sense. And then I put 2.3 in the back. And then I noticed manuals were really hard for me to turn on. So normally I can manual and just turn because you dip it onto the corner of that tire and it catches and pulls you over. But with that wider tire, it's just a lot more like, I don't know, rounded. I don't know if that's the right word, but it does make a huge difference. You get used to it in no time. It also feels more squishy, and I think there's more rolling resistance on the wider tires. Therefore, it slows you down a little bit compared to really narrow, skinny tires. But yeah, dude, I'm glad you subscribed. I'm glad you bought Momentums. I People are like, what tires? I'm like, Momentums. Uh, they're the best bang for your buck, hands down. And one day I want Demolition to sponsor me. We'll see how that goes. But Momentums are solid. Now, you say, do I worry about bike weight? I used to be a huge weight weenie. I would buy plastic pivotal seat with like this tall of a seat post, anything I could do to save weight. And after breaking lots of bikes, like that frame that snapped in half was a 4-pound frame. It was from a company called Guerrera that nobody's probably ever heard of. They made incredibly light things that were not that good quality, obviously, because I broke two of them in like a year. I broke two in a year. So I used to worry about weight a lot. And as I started getting hurt because of these broken parts, and as I started thinking about it a little more, you to combat that heavy bike, you can increase your own strength. And that is, to me, it's a better alternative than going really light and like kind of risking it. You know what I mean? You could go and get stronger and be able to maneuver a 27-pound bike, just like weaker you would be able to maneuver a 25-pound bike. And the stronger you on a 27-pound bike is a much better alternative than weaker you on a 25-pound bike, just because you're not going to die if your parts break. So I've started to shift over to being more conscious about quality instead of weight. Weight really still does help do tricks. It's just easier to maneuver. It's easier to do tricks with a lighter bike. That's just how it is. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. All right. Darp says, hey, I have a fit. I don't know what this light was not blinding me before, and then I moved it for the finger bike, and now it is. All right, that's good. I'm going to drink some water. Darp, I'm going to answer your question after I drink some water. All right. Darp says, I have a Fit 1 Series BMX bike 2020. I'm new to BMX. Will it break? Yes. All BMX bikes are going to break, man. Fit, however, their Series 1 is a lower quality bike. It's for beginner riders. So what I always tell people is when you're first getting into the sport, you can ride that bike and you're going to be fine. But as you progress, as you start to do tricks, you outgrow that bike. The bike starts to break. And in turn, you either need to quit BMX or get a bike with the quality that matches your riding. So that's what it was for me. My parents bought me a cheap DK reaction bike. I progressed to where I was doing bigger gaps, and then I broke the bike. And as the parts broke, I upgraded them with different parts, and then I bought a mid-level bike after that. So it happens for everyone, and it's just part of the thing. But yeah, like Stealth says, all BMX bikes break at some point. Now, like imagine me getting on your bike, right? It wouldn't last me near as long as it would last you because you're a brand new rider. So as you progress, you're going to need a new bike. But right off the bat, dude, you are good to go. Welcome to BMX. Yeah, Darp, if you're wondering about selling it or whatever, dude, just keep it until you progress to the point. Like if you really stick with the sport, that bike should last you around a year, depending on how much you progress. And that's fine. Like over that time of a year, you could save enough money to get a much better bike and ride the one you have for now. Fit One thing about Fit, guys, is I always talk bad about the quality, and I feel bad. I feel like they're gonna hate me, but I feel like they charge too much for what they're putting out. They're a great brand, like good name. Anyway, a lot their geometry is good. So that geometry of the Series 1 is very similar to like $1,000 bike. So in general, it's going to feel the same. It's just not going to last the same. And that's something that's really important. A cheap Mongoose bike does not have, or cheap Walmart bike does not have the same geometry as, say, a Fit Series 1. So it's going to be easier to progress on the Series 1 than it would a cheap department store bike, even if the quality is not the best. Okay. So yeah, that should help. Lucas has that new BSD build. I heard BSD knows the secret to nose manuals, and that's why you can nose manual so good, Lucas. That's sick, man. I've ever since seeing Chad Curley hop up on like one, it was a ledge like 4 feet, nose manual up, and then nose manual down. I'm like, that is crazy. And then after trying nose manuals, I was like, okay, that's extra crazy. Epic. You should tell everyone in the chat if you're still here what you're using to build that manual machine, because I've seen a lot about it, but I've never talked about it. And I think that's something that would really help a lot of people. So if you share your secrets of how you're building it, that would help out the community a lot. That's super sick, man. Like I said, that's a big mountain bike thing, but not many BMX people are getting into it. So good job. You're going to be a Manny God for sure. Thunder, you can't manual at 20 miles an hour, man. You got to take it easy. Yo, Cody. Cody says, I recently found your BMX workout video with your brother. I'm on week 4 at the moment and am training for a show that I have coming up in June. Cody, that's sick, man. Are you like a bodybuilding show or like a BMX show? Probably bodybuilding, huh? That's awesome, man. You should, if you really, he does custom meal plans and workout plans. Like he builds one for me, and you should reach out to him if you want, and he can kind of coach you more. So he pays a coach like $400 or $500 a month to help him get big for shows and stuff. So if you're interested in that, tell him I sent you. But yeah, dude, that's sick. It's so cool to have that video. I wasn't sure what would happen with it. I was just going over there. I was like, dude, you want to film a video? He's like, okay. We were both kind of awkward on camera at first, and it turned out really good. So it's cool to have you over here in the community for it. Julian says, sorry for being late. I just needed to spend time with the family. Happy Easter. Julian, happy Easter, man. Don't worry about it. If you're spending time with the family, dude, you got it. Family's got to go first. I'll always be here every Friday, every Sunday. And our families might not be around forever. So guys, take this time and spend it with people that you care about for sure. If I'm one of those people, I'm honored and I'm glad you guys are here. So happy Sunday, happy Easter. Glad you all are here. This is crazy that there's so many people here on Easter. We should all be eating like a nice Easter dinner. But I had a salad and that is all. And fruit bars. If you guys were here early, I had like some little granola bars. Dallas, I have not seen you in a while. What's up, man? Dallas says, I can bunny hop pretty good up 2 stairs, working on 3 stairs. I have my fakies down, working on foot jam fakies. What should I work on next, or what should my step be? Dallas, sounds like the progression is solid, man. Um, one thing, keep doing bunny hops. Like 3 stairs is a solid accomplishment. I remember when I got to 3 stairs, I was like, yes. 4 stairs will be an even bigger accomplishment. And now, once you get to 4 stairs, you should be doing 180s very soon. I would definitely add 180s to the list, like right now, because you're doing fakies. So 180s, hop up higher. But once you get into those 180s, man, you're going to be 180ing up 2 sets and 3 sets once you learn how to hop up 4 and 5 sets. So that'll be really fun to do. Sounds like you have a good setup with different stairs. So get those 180s and then start doing them up curbs, up stair sets. And when you get those 180s really good, you're going to be able to turn them into 360s on flat. So dude, 180, 360 fakies, half cab, full cab. X-up rides are kind of lame, but a lot of people like that. I only call them lame because I can't do it. X-up rides, pull-up bars. Dude, once you get 180s and 360s, you should definitely start working on boss spins. Jason, what's up, Jason? I don't think I've seen you in here before. Welcome to the live. He says, "What is your opinion on getting a kink for a first bike?" Jason, for whatever reason, I think I'm genuinely a little biased towards kink just because when I was doing this, I was reaching out to different companies. I'm like, "Hey guys, this is what I'm doing. You guys want to like give me different pointers for your bikes and I just want to build a relationship with you so that I can make sure that these are accurate and we can work together." And Kink was the only one who helped me by sending me the 2020 bike lines early so I could get a head start on it. And I've always appreciated that because they did that for me before I was even doing YouTube and the website wasn't that big or anything. So Kink, I have a lot of respect for how much they care about the community. And because of that, I definitely review their bikes first. But I am honest, like their lower quality bikes are low quality. They're not going to last, but they're inexpensive. Whereas Fit's lower quality bikes are not going to last, just like the Kinks, but they're expensive. So maybe I'm not biased. I think I'm genuine. Kink for your first bike is very good. I know a lot of people, Jason, have gotten like the Kink Whip or the Kink Switch because of me. That's my favorite bike in 2021. Kink Switch is the best bike for street riders under 500. The Kink Whip is the best bike hands down for under $500. And so a lot of people get that as their first bike. The lower quality kinks are fine. It's going to be a similar situation to what we were just talking about, as it's your very first bike. It's going to be fine for up to a year or so until you start progressing and start breaking it. All BMX bikes break, but yeah, hope that helps. So I love all these comments. Lucas wants to learn wall rides. Lucas, I love wall rides. I way back before I had a fully custom bike, I was trying wall ride to bar. And that's something that would have been like 4 or 5 years ago. That's something I've never done like since that day. And I was so close. That's crazy. It's weird to look back on that. I'm sure you guys have different tricks you look back on. You're like, why was I even trying that? Oh, I think that comment was way up here, but I ended up on it. So that's cool. I almost skipped it. I didn't see it, man. Clue FN, what's up, man? It's okay for being late. Like I said, dude, you're hanging out with the family. It's all good. Am I the only one who has no idea what you guys are talking about? Whistler Black Comb. Oh my God. Don't cancel me. Hold on. I'm going to look at it. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Is it for bikes or for skiing? Wow. That looks amazing. $1 billion? This says Vail Resorts finalizes its $1 billion purchase of Whistler Blackcomb. I can snowboard half decent, but downhill bikes scare me. But yo, guys, 2025, Dougsterbob is paying for a trip for all 21 of you guys that are on here on this live stream. We're all going to Whistler Blackcomb in 2025. Okay, hold me. Someone clip this and remind me in 4 years, and let's go. All of you guys, all 21 of you. That's my dream, right? So eventually I'll be able to buy everyone trips to somewhere. That'd be so fun. Yo, Devin. Devin landed his first tail whip. Devin, congrats, man. That's super exciting. I remember when I landed my first whip, it was the biggest accomplishment. And dude, that's a hard trick. Like if you are doing this, your arms are doing this, your wrists are doing this, there's so much going on. And the fact that you have enough coordination to make it work, like, good job, dude. Not many people ever end up doing whips. Cody says that workout plan you created with your brother is on point. I feel stronger. I feel like my backflips are coming around easier and I'm able to ride longer sessions with less fatigue. Cody, I'm going to send this to him because he's going to be hyped. It's funny. I look at the Convert Kit and how many people sign up for that workout plan. And I'm like, dude, That's awesome. He's really good. He gets really impatient with people sometimes that he trains. He's like, he's like, I hate it. Like I tell them what to do. They don't like they act like they want it, but then they don't actually try it. So it's really cool, Cody, that you're actually trying it and putting in the work, man. That's sick. All right. Dude, we're at an hour 15. These are really good questions. And you guys, like, some of my favorite people are in here in the live: Hayden, Lucas, Sean. Who else? Glossy. Yo, I saw Glossy. Glossy, I skipped your comment. What's up, man? Glossy's always commenting stuff. This is so cool. Oh wait, there's a really good question I was gonna say though, but it was Epic's no, somebody's Manny machine. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hold on. I gotta read. No, I answered Dallas's question. Oh yeah, Hayden said manuals probably, and I didn't even mention manuals. Dallas, definitely add manuals to the mix, dude. I have friends that can do big tricks, but not manual, and the big tricks are really cool, but the manuals are. I feel they're so fundamental. You know what I mean? All right. Hayden says, I got the whip because of you. I was gonna get a fit until I found you. Don't tell Fit that, Hayden. Just pretend like you were gonna get a whip all along. And that's crazy. Like I'm an influencer, right? But I never think about that. And I've got like that's crazy that you dude, how is the whip though? Is it a good choice or not? I think it's a solid choice. I think you made the right choice, Hayden. Dallas got the 2021 Colt Devotion, and it's feeling pretty good. He used his old rim because Colt's still getting back to me about that defective rear wheel. The bike's a little heavy though. Yeah, Dallas, I remember you telling me that the Colt felt kind of sketchy at first, huh? Um, hopefully Colt gets back to you. It sounds like Colt and Cinema were both having back wheel issues. Yeah, Noxious, you can post the link. I don't care. I think it's awesome if you're gonna help other people find the park. Is it the Sunday Primer Park? Oh, there's also a Sunday Forecaster Park. It's a little higher quality. You might want to check that out too. Epic Epic CJ is definitely canceling me because I did not know about the Whistler thing. My bad, guys. My bad. Yeah, Dallas is bringing snacks. 2025, guys, for real. Let's all right, Hayden screen recorded it. Put it in your calendar. We're all going to go. And what else do we have? I think I'm finally catching up to you guys, and it's a good time to start wrapping up the live. So if there's any last minute questions, throw them in here, guys. I will answer them. Lucas says let's have a 3-hour live, dude. No way. My mouth is already like numb. I don't know how most people do it. I think most people's lives are centered around I don't know. What if I did prank calls, right? Where I'm not talking for a full hour, but I, I'll get better. My mouth will get used to it, but 2025, no 3-hour live, absolutely not. Cody says, which is nice due to being a content creator also. Oh yeah, dude, Cody, put your link to your channel. We'll all follow you, man. We all like guys, if you guys want to like shout out yourself, throw that link in there. And I encourage everyone here on the live to check out whoever's self-promoting themselves and follow them. I love following you guys. I love watching the progression and I love helping you guys grow. I remember Aiden, I shouted out Aiden on one of these lives, and he went from like 80 followers to 100, and he was just, I hit 100. He was so hyped, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. That's the community, guys. This is a community. That's what it's all about. Cody, good luck at the freestyle show, man. That is super sick. It's cool that life is getting back into somewhat normal, so we can have those events and everything. Yo, Blake, you are late, man. ZZCA Juarez says, "Hey, is the free coaster wheel really worth it or no?" Dude, it totally depends on what you're trying to do with it. For me, the free coaster wheel is not worth it just because I love the pedal pressure type stuff. I love my cranks being extra tight, not flipping around. But I love sometimes to ride without a chain because it's like, oh, I'm not feeling it. I want to ride free coaster. I'll just take off my chain and ride free coaster. So if you can get both, ZZCA, go with that. But you really, the free coaster is a different thing. I'm sure there's a lot of you guys, anyone in here who rides the free coaster, like, is it harder to get used to than a cassette or is it not that bad? I feel like it's pretty hard because you need to get used to that slack and figure out how to ride it, how to engage, how to disengage. There's a little bit of different concept behind it. So I'm not sure where you're at with it. If it's going to complement your riding, dude, it's definitely worth it. But for some people, it's just not worth it at all. Hayden made his friend get the kink whip, and it's great so far. Dude, that's awesome. I think that'll be a good bike for you to progress on for sure. All right, Knox just threw that link in there. And oh, it's the Fit Park. Yeah. That's a good price though. For sure. I'm gonna send that out on an email because I know there's some people looking for it. And like I said, guys, look at this though. It's not full chromoly, right? It's chromoly front triangle. It's really small. It's got single wall sealed front hub. Okay, sealed cassette single wall, and it's got the gyro. So I get it. The gyro is a little more expensive. The forks and bars aren't full chromoly, and this bike was normally the same price as the Kink Switch. And that's when I'm like, okay, Fit, come on. Like, really, I know you guys need to make money. I respect that. I get it. But don't rob these poor kids who are getting into, like, most people getting into the sport have something messed up going on. They're short on money. They just want a bike to ride, and like milking them for every penny that they have. That's kind of messed up. So anyway, 409 is almost a reasonable price. Still more expensive than the Kink Gap, which is just a little bit better quality, but for small riders, I still recommend the Fit Park, even though it's expensive, because it is the best thing that they're going to get. D Lee, what's up, D Lee? Welcome to the live. He says, "We the People Battleship or Sunday Soundwave." This is a tough one because I've gotten in some arguments about this. Actually, it's more about the We the People Envy of the Sunday Soundwave. I love the Battleship color. I love the red and blue tire. I think it looks so sick. I don't like the Sunday Soundwave color. However, the Soundwave has the guarantee on the frame, forks, bars, and cranks, where the Battleship just has it on the frame and the forks. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think the Soundwave's a better bike. I used to think the Envy was a better bike, but I do think the Soundwave's just a little bit better. The Envy's full of aftermarket parts. I know you're talking about the Battleship, but the reason I bring up the Envy is because to me the Envy's up here and the Battleship's just right below the Envy. So granted, it's more street specific than the Envy, but still, I'm gonna say Sunday Soundwave. I just don't like the color. All right, guys, is there any last minute questions? Anything? Glossy, you got any questions? Glossy says the Envy because the Soundwave is yuck. Yeah, Envy doesn't have a guard sprocket. The Envy is pretty general, but the best thing about the Envy is you can choose the 20.5 or the 21-inch top tube. All right, hold on. Dallas, your black profile picture, like it's hard to see you in there. He says, "What should my first upgrade part on my cult devotion?" I don't know. Is Bizzle still in here? If Bizzle's still in here, Bizzle, what was the first part you upgraded? I think for you, man, I don't know. I don't know what you need, like are you taller? Do you need taller bars? Are you smaller? Do you need a stem with less of a reach so that you can do bar spins easier? Do you need steeper forks so you're more responsive and you can nose manual better? Do you need shorter cranks so that your cranks are closer to center so that you can catch whips and be chilling? I don't know, dude. It all depends on your style and what you need at the moment. And I have no idea where you're at. I definitely tell people to hold on to their part or their money, save up money, and then buy parts when something breaks or when they need something to change up their style a little bit. Which Epic, which video are you talking about? I definitely think Sunday's customer service is going to be better, but I have no idea. I haven't dealt with either. My friends dealt with Sunday a lot. And like, I'll tell you guys a story. He had a hub, a free coaster that was kind of grinding. So he messaged one of the guys on Instagram, and the guy said, "Hey, is it doing this? Is it doing that?" Like, asked him a few questions. And then he sent him literally everything he needed to rebuild the hub for free. No questions asked, just said, "Okay, well, I'm just going to send you this stuff." Whereas I don't know. I don't know. I haven't dealt with We the People, but I don't know if they would do the same thing. Probably not. Not many companies are that solid when it comes to customer service and stuff like that. So, and even their warranty, like honoring their guarantee, it's like they're like, "Okay, it broke. Here you go. Here's a new one. What do you want?" And yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't dealt with either, but I do think yeah. Lucas, I don't know what we're talking about here, but Doug, can you tell Epic that the Fit Park is not full chromoly? Yeah, CJ, it is definitely not full chromoly. It's tri-moly, and what that means is front triangle. So it's the top tube, the head tube, and the down tube. Your seat, so your seat tube, your chain stays, and the is that still your chain stay? I don't know. This one, those are high tensile steel. And while most bikes break in the front, that back end being high tensile steel, I talk about this a lot, is when you do spins. Dang, you guys can't really see this. When you do spins, it bends this chainstay whichever way you're spinning. So look, you spin, your back tire hits, your back tire hits, your back tire hits. It pushes it over that way. And that only matters when you're at the point of doing big drops and doing big spins. But for me, it was a thing. I was like, why is my wheel not lining up? And I looked at it and it shifted. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So that happens a lot, guys. And also, a big thing there is if the frame is not full chromoly, chances are the forks are not full chromoly, and they might say chromoly steer tube, and that's just the tube that goes through. But the legs literally bend so easily. If you do a disaster, you case something, they're gonna bend out, and it's gonna look like you're riding a Harley Davidson, which is cool but not very useful. So you have to be really think about that stuff and make sure it's the right move for you and your riding style. With that, Devon says Full Factory had the best service in the world, Odyssey Sunday and G Sport. Dallas has the new profile picture, so now that I can see him. D. Lee's going with the Sunday sound wave, slapping on some Jake Seeley PC pegs and calling it a day. D. Lee needs some Dougsterbob stickers to slap on that new bike. And Blake has to leave. Blake, I hope you're enjoying the chain. I hope you're back on the BMX. All right, guys. If anyone hasn't liked the video that's still left, I was going to say let's get it to 30, but we're already over 30. So you know what? I'm not going to say anything. You know what you need to do. This content is free for the most part. So pay respect. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. I appreciate you. We will see you next Friday on the next live. Happy Easter, guys. And I don't take it for granted, like that you guys decided to spend your time with me instead of your families or on Fortnite or whatever. I really appreciate it. I love you guys for being a part of the community. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Happy Easter. Peace.